Something seriously strange just happened with Tesla. This is a cybercab, but it actually was spotted with a steering wheel, which we can see here if we change the contrast of the picture. There's really no debate about that after seeing this picture. So why would Tesla put a steering wheel in a cybercab, which is supposed to be a fully autonomous vehicle, without a steering wheel, which Elon Musk has insisted on? There are a few possibilities. One of them, which would be very bullish, is that Tesla is about to release a compact vehicle based on cybercab's design, but it will have a steering wheel and perhaps it will have a different shape, but maybe the exact same platform. So more or less, it's similar. And maybe now it's undergoing some extra testing and therefore they put a steering wheel into it. Another explanation is that simply Tesla still obviously hasn't solved full self-driving. It's not safer than human driving yet. So you definitely need a steering wheel until that moment to keep testing the vehicle. There's actually one more possibility, and that is Tesla simply needs the steering wheel basically to comply with some of the autonomous driving test program regulations. Here's something else that's really seriously strange that's going on. The catalysts that Tesla has right now, Gary says, are the strongest collection he has seen in years. And while it is true that 28 out of 60 Wall Street analysts that analyze Tesla stock have a buy rating for Tesla stock, only 4 of those have a price target that is above where Tesla stock is currently trading. So all of this means, pretty much inevitably, very likely, that there is another round of price target increases. And when firms like Morgan Stanley upgrade Tesla stock, when they increase their Tesla stock price targets, the stock soars. Not every analyst has that much power, but a few of them do. So this is definitely a bullish catalyst waiting for Tesla. And at this point, likely a lot of these analysts are just waiting for Tesla's next earnings call, and they will update their price targets after the earnings call. So as long as there's nothing spectacularly terrible that happens on the earnings call, all of these price targets should go up substantially, at least above where Tesla stock is trading. The markets today are closed in the US. However, in Europe, it was up, although later there was a dip. But with President Trump being successfully inaugurated and him becoming the next president of the United States of America, Elon Musk has a strong ally in the White House, and Elon Musk is definitely celebrating currently, as you can see on the screen in just 1 second right here. Yeah, Elon is definitely happy about what's going on today. The whole inauguration was actually indoors and not outdoors, and I think that was definitely the right choice. Of course, Trump is going to likely pursue his promise and revoke the electric vehicle mandate, which basically means removing the $7,500 subsidy to all EVs. But I actually think it's bullish in the long term for Tesla, not in the short term, but in the long term, because this will crush the competition, which already loses money from selling every single EV, but Tesla makes money from selling every single EV. So these other companies will be less likely to transition to EVs and will make fewer of them, while Tesla will still keep making them and more of them. But temporarily, just for a brief moment in time, I do believe that demand for EVs in the US specifically is going to go down for a little bit. And then, as naturally more people switch to EVs, it will come back up. I will also be reporting probably in very high detail what Elon Musk is going to be doing with the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. During the whole inauguration, Elon Musk was probably thinking that this whole thing is taking too long and it's inefficient. And next time for future presidencies, we should make it shorter so that we can get to work faster. That's tongue-in-cheek, of course, but he might have actually had that thought. There's also some big news with Elon Musk and China. China's vice president just met with Elon Musk and other members of the US business community, and overall, he was very positive towards Elon and Tesla. The vice president told Elon he welcomed Tesla and other US companies to seize the opportunities and share in the benefits of China's development and contribute to the growth of China-US economic and trade relations. So China is really putting some serious effort when it comes to keeping the relations close and good with Elon. There were also speculations about the president of China showing up for the Trump inauguration, but he actually didn't come, and he sent the vice president instead. Elon Musk responded to all of this positivity from China, though, and said that he is willing to deepen investment in China. That probably means launching the Tesla compact vehicle in China and launching FSD. There's also some seriously good news about the new Model Y. First of all, I think it looks amazing, especially from this angle and with this camera lens. Oh, it looks good. To me, it just looks more sporty, and Tesla vehicles are very fast, so I think it just reflects its true characteristics a little bit better. And here's the good news. There is such high demand for this new vehicle that Tesla reportedly already reached 100,000 orders according to Teslarati. This is just in 10 days. While this figure is reportedly announced, it's not officially confirmed yet. But if you want to geek out, it seems like the number does make sense. Basically, you just look at the order number and you can sort of figure out how many vehicles have been ordered. So as long as Tesla is not playing some tricks with the order numbers, which actually it has before, occasionally, rarely, as long as that's not happening in this case, this is definitely spectacularly good news. And there's no doubt that the success of the Model Y will continue with its refresh because of so many new orders. This is also definitely good for Tesla. Tesla's energy business is going to be huge. It's probably eventually going to be even bigger than the vehicle business in terms of just revenue generated from the vehicle sales versus revenue generated from Tesla's Megapacks. It's going to be a very long journey to achieve that, but I think it's going to happen eventually. One of the largest batteries in the world, powered by Tesla Megapacks, is gearing up to plug into Victoria, Australia's electricity grid, actually, which is one thing that's making me say that eventually I believe Tesla will generate more revenue from selling Megapacks than selling vehicles. The big battery will store enough renewable energy to power 200,000 homes. If you do the math, it sort of becomes apparent that the only trend in Australia, at least, and in many places with sun, it's really inevitable for them to do this, but on a larger scale, especially as prices come down. It makes even more sense, and it already makes sense to do it, so it will only make more sense later. We are a long way off to Tesla Energy overtaking the automotive business, but certainly steps are being taken and we are heading towards that direction, although slowly for now. But when this business grows by this much year over year, if it continues, it's inevitable. Here's another strange thing I found about Tesla today. There is a report from San Francisco Chronicle. A Tesla on autopilot crashes into an SF plant store, okay? And this is a direct quote from the article. The driver hit the gas pedal by mistake while attempted to disengage autopilot and crashed into the storefront, but the headline would lead you to believe it was obviously autopilot's fault also. I'm not even going to mention the fact that this is a direct quote from the article right here, and it mentions a gas pedal, which obviously Teslas don't have. This one just makes me laugh. Doug DeMuro on the Toyota BZ4X EV. The car is only selling with massive discounts and incentives. Toyota is using this as an example to say, see, nobody likes this vehicle. Nobody likes electric cars, but that's because they made a bad one. People buy Teslas because they are good. They are good cars and good value. Just made a bad one. In fact, the worst one. I think the BZ4X and the Solterra are the worst electric cars on sale, says Doug DeMuro, who is a respected car reviewer. And Elon Musk made a pretty strong statement here. That will definitely happen in response to Farzad's post here, saying, heard on a Tesla earnings call sometime in the future, not from the past, in the future. Yeah, so Optimus has been working our production system for the last quarter, and it actually contributed meaningfully towards our gross margin. There's so much happening right now. Let's step back for a moment and review some of the catalysts that are about to happen for Tesla. And Gary thinks it's the strongest collection of Tesla catalysts he has seen in years, from the 30 to 35,000 vehicle, which is going to be a more compact, smaller vehicle, to expand Tesla's total addressable market to the compact segment, to Trump streamlining the federal process so Tesla can obtain unsupervised autonomy license, to accelerated volume growth with the Model Y Juniper, to the Supreme Court in Delaware throwing out Chancellor McCormick's faulty Musk comp ruling. The stars seem aligned for a truly special 2025. And so I will keep buying more Tesla stock while it's cheap. Also, it's not really clear what's happening with TikTok. Is Elon Musk buying it or no? We'll find out. But there is some progress being made about TikTok. Trump said he will delay TikTok ban, but the platform must be sold. By the time you're watching this, Trump already probably executed an executive order today to extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect, which would basically make TikTok inaccessible in the US. Personally, I don't think that Elon Musk is going to buy TikTok, but the chances of that are definitely not zero and definitely big enough for us to seriously follow the story. And here we have some actually pretty big news for us Tesla stock investors who follow Tesla stock very closely. One of the biggest Tesla stock bears, Bernstein's Tony Sacconaghi, is actually retiring. And in addition to Tesla, Tony also covered Apple. But when it came to Tesla bears, Tony was one of the bears that had a little bit of credibility behind him, actually. And the things that he would say, while sometimes they wouldn't make that much sense, there would be somewhat of a reason behind his actual thought process instead of just making up complete lies, which we have seen from bears that have price targets of less than $50 per share. And there is one analyst with a price target of $20 per share, roughly. But Tony Sacconaghi's current Tesla stock price target is just $120 per share. And this will be his last Tesla stock price target. Tesla stock currently is trading $300 above his price target. More than triple his price target. Oh, and lately, Tony's tip ranking also went down. He's now down to 4,800. From one of the last times I recall looking at his tip ranks profile, I think he was roughly in the top 1,000 or top 1,500. But looking at his Tesla stock predictions, yeah, I think retirement is the right idea for him. Maybe with other stocks he was great, but with Tesla specifically, he completely got it wrong in the long term. If you have been a Tesla stock investor for a while, you'll remember that Elon Musk once called Tony Sacconaghi's questions on the earnings call boneheaded. Tony Sacconaghi did have a multi-decade career in the industry. However, he still doesn't look that old. I see no gray hair. I think he could keep working if he wanted to. But this to me means that, I mean, usually people often retire, then they have a huge hurdle in their career, or they're just tired. And in this case, whichever reason it is great for us Tesla stock investors because there is going to be one less Tesla stock bear. So we bulls are definitely winning. He had a career that lasted 26 years at Bernstein. That's a long career at just one company. However, he's not completely retiring. He says that he will be planning to spend time with family, travel, serve as a board member. So he will serve as a board member, invest and potentially teach. He wrote an email when he announced his departure, but basically he's not going to have any active roles anymore. Definitely a victory for us Tesla stock bulls. And I have a feeling, just a hunch, that we will see a lot more Tesla bears capitulating in the next few years, especially as EVs become more and more popular. Just look at Norway. EVs accounted for 89% of all new passenger car sales in Norway in 2024, which is up from 82%. So even though they were already at 82%, they still grew even more. There are also some changes in the European market for Tesla. In 2020, the largest market for Tesla in Europe was the United Kingdom. However, that changed in 2021. Then it was only the second after Germany. And then in 2023, it was actually the third largest market for Tesla after Germany and then France. But just now it became the largest market for Tesla again in Europe. The market in Europe though is a little bit different. Also in Germany and France, there are no longer generous subsidies that can be accessed by regular consumers, which were easily accessible before. So that definitely slowed sales in France and Germany, but also the European market is a bit different from the US market. People like smaller cars over there. So with Tesla's compact coming out, I think Tesla is going to annihilate the European market once that is out. And Japan, for Tesla, remains a market that's largely untapped. However, to counteract that, Tesla is going to offer 5 years of free supercharging. Also, there's this platform where it sort of works like a stock market, but for predicting events. So you can make bets on potential outcomes. And one of them is Tesla Robotaxi public release this year. Currently, it's trading at a chance of 36% that it is going to happen this year, I think is something that's actually worth following and see what people think, because I think this also affects the price of Tesla stock. As the percentages go higher, the stock probably is also more likely to go up. Also, we have an LFP patent from Tesla, which is of course related to battery manufacturing. And Drew Baglino, who was a former SVP of powertrain and energy at Tesla and was basically one of the most important people at Tesla, he made a comment here. The patent describes a more scalable, lower capital investment and lower process costs means of making LFP than traditional precursor CSTR, followed by RHKs. This is so technical. Anyway, what this means is that if Tesla uses this and implements successfully, fully scaled, can be lower cost than untariffed LFP from China. Untariffed, without zero tariffs from China. And China is so good at manufacturing these LFP batteries. So this does seem like a pretty big deal, actually. I have now had my Tesla for years, and not even once did I have an issue of the camera being dirty, and because of that, not being able to see through cameras, or FSD having substandard performance because the cameras were dirty. However, I did have an issue with rainwater basically on the back camera, which made it hard to see, but there's a different solution to that. You just put a certain coating on that and then the water just doesn't stick to the camera. But eventually, no doubt, if we have many robotaxis, some cameras will just get dirty from, let's say, gravel, or maybe a bird is gonna fly by and drop a white surprise on the camera. So, automated camera cleaning, Tesla says, is coming, and I'm pretty sure that's a good idea in the long term. Oh wait, what they actually said was that they are working on a better solution. They didn't specifically mention automated. So let's see exactly what they meant by that. Specifically, Tesla announced on X that it is working on a new way to keep the cameras clean on the Cybertruck. Electric here writes that you will often get an alert that the system might not work properly because one or more cameras are obstructed due to dirt or snow coming off the road and into the lenses. Now, I personally never had that issue. Now, snow, that might be an issue, certainly. Dirt for me, though, has never been an issue, but I do not go on dirt roads, so... But supposedly, some owners complained that they need to remember to clean the camera at the back of the truck almost every time they use it, especially in the winter. And Tesla responded to some of these comments through its Tesla AI account on X. And Tesla said, on a more serious note, a more comprehensive cleaning solution is being worked on. Now, Fred from Electric, when he drives his Tesla on FSD during the winter, he gets alerts of obstructed cameras literally every other drive. I do get a notification when it's raining that FSD performance may be downgraded or degraded, but I do not have ever received notifications that cameras are obstructed. Tesla, though, has already implemented heaters, which helps some, but other than that, the front-facing cameras, which benefit from the windshield wipers, there's a need for more. An Electric's take with all of this is that Tesla is basically admitting that for unsupervised self-driving, which was part of the question answered, it needs to add extra hardware to make it work. I think Electric is misinterpreting what Tesla said here exactly. Tesla said a more comprehensive cleaning solution is being worked on. It doesn't say adding extra hardware. It just says more comprehensive cleaning solution, which could mean adding hardware, or it could mean doing something else. And I bet that Tesla will first deploy its robotaxis in places with good weather. So it makes sense to work on solving full self-driving in places with good weather first. So you're not really as worried about snow and things like that. Tesla will worry about that, but later on. Elon also made a comment about hardware-free vehicles. He said it must stress the AI out so much that it isn't allowed to reverse yet. It will soon, though. So he's saying that we are going to have an update that allows hardware-free vehicles to reverse. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And Tesla's FSD is definitely getting substantially smarter here, for example. It stopped for this bus. It knew it needs to stop. It knew it cannot go. So it slows down first and then eventually comes to a complete full 100% stop. And it only goes once it is actually safe to go, as in the flashing lights disappear. And then it goes. I also agree with Omar here. If more of Wall Street could see how well FSD V13 is already handling chaotic urban environments, I think Tesla would probably be trading at $500 plus already today. Omar predicts that success is looking increasingly likely. I mean, look at this turn here. So many vehicles, and the car waits until the right moment, and only then it will actually go. But this intersection is extremely busy, and it's not going right, it's turning left, so that's why it took so long, and it handled that perfectly and smoothly. No stress. Wow, someone got 12.6.1 on his hardware 3 vehicle, which is basically a watered down FSD V13, but for hardware 3 vehicles. And he said it's perfect. He won't mind if this is the version they decide to stop with for hardware 3 vehicles. No jerks and no more phantom brakings. But Omar says that AI 3 will continue to get much better from here. Reverse and other features from V13 are on the roadmap. However, I think everyone can agree that the number one priority should be achieving unsupervised operation, even if it is AI 4 or even AI 5 only. Then it can be backported to older cars. I do agree with that, because all of this extra effort to make hardware 3 vehicles work, that could have been spent on making hardware 4 vehicles better, which should in theory maybe get us faster to fully unsupervised vehicles. There's also a bit of a change of strategy from Tesla. Here's someone very excited because she received a call from her local Tesla center. They're going to be hosting monthly events. Each month will be a different topic, and if you are local to Colorado Springs and would like to attend, you can actually register here. But one of the events will be specifically just about FSD, how to use it. And I think some older customers of Tesla will appreciate that event, or just anyone who's not that good with tech or doesn't feel that comfortable with tech. At a time when I talk about FSD or having someone try FSD, if they're not all that good with tech, I immediately sense some hesitation when I try to tell them, hey, you can take my Tesla, give it a try. In the meantime, Tesla is making another move with Cybertrucks. Tesla is now offering new Cybertrucks with inventory discounts of up to $2,110. The demo Cybertruck discounts of up to $3,500 haven't changed yet. Okay, so this actually explains a lot. We know that there are inventory discounts for the Cybertruck. Supposedly that's because there's no demand or much lower demand. But when you look at the inventory page, you see that the incentives are only for 2024 vehicles and demo vehicles. And that's important to know because the EV tax credit only applies to 2025 Cybertrucks and beyond. So why would anyone buy an older vehicle that's also more expensive, substantially more expensive? That makes no sense. And so Tesla decided to do a small discount for the older Cybertrucks. And speaking of discounts, Tesla Model Ys did get big inventory discounts in North America, which is indicating a Model Y refresh coming to North America as well, and not just to Europe or China. But actually, they're not that huge. One of the biggest discounts that's available is in Colorado. This Model Y has a $2,400 discount, but it is certainly a possible indicator that Tesla is preparing to launch a new Model Y in North America. And Tesla just secured a Megapack battery contract in Europe, actually in Belgium. That's good. Oh, I agree with Stephen Mark Ryan here. Something is truly rotten within company of GM, which he calls Government Motors. FTC just announced an action against General Motors for collecting and selling drivers' precise geolocation data and driving behavior information from millions of vehicles, data that can be used to set insurance rates, and take this, without obtaining consent. Now, as you all know, I'm pretty fair. So I will say this, that indeed, I agree with the former president now. Today, he just became a former president, in that GM truly leads when it comes to data fraud. I agree with that. Wow, vehicles, new ones, are getting more and more expensive. The average price of a new vehicle in the US is now almost $50,000. Now, one reason for stronger demand in China is that the government of China keeps subsidizing EVs, while Western countries are going the other way. China is going to offer a one-off fixed subsidies for select passenger vehicles. You get about $2,700 US for trading in an old car for a new energy vehicle, which would include a hybrid, I believe, as well, or a battery electric vehicle. You still get a pretty decent subsidy if you do get a fossil fuel car, but it is lower by about $700 US. With the new president inaugurated today, this is going to be the golden age, I believe, for the United States of America, as well as for SpaceX and Elon Musk's companies. It definitely helps that Elon Musk again was able to successfully land this booster, which was caught. The Starship actually didn't make it, but the booster did make it. The SpaceX team is going to learn from what they found and is going to improve the next Starship. And certainly Elon Musk has come a long way from this to now this. There's also some big news here. Elon Musk actually basically implied that Jeff Bezos and he are now good friends. But 24 years after the company's founding, Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin has just successfully reached orbit with its own rocket for the first time. However, they lost the booster. And Elon Musk just delivered a really passionate speech. This is from yesterday. Take a look. It's just only a few minutes.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities. Secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. And we're going to take Doge to Mars. I mean, can you imagine how awesome it will be to have American astronauts plant the flag on another planet for the first time? Bam! Bam! Yeah! How inspiring would that be? You know, there's always problems in life. You know, there's this problem, solve that problem. But you know, there need to be things that inspire you. There need to be things that make you glad to wake up in the morning and say, I'm looking forward to the future. Yeah. And I love you guys. So, and let me tell you, I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys. So, I really will. So, and yeah, but I'm super fired up. For the future. It's going to be very exciting. As the president said, we're going to have a golden age. It's going to be fantastic. And one of the fundamental things, one of the most American values that I love is optimism. And this feeling like we're gonna make the future good. We're gonna make it good. So, man, I can't wait. This is gonna be fantastic. So thank you again, and yeah, I'm just so excited about the future. Thank you guys. Thank you.
I'm certainly very excited about the future. One more thing that I will do, which I mentioned before, is that I will talk a lot more about general news, while of course continuing to talk about Tesla stock as well, which I believe will go to $1,000 per share, and then after that, well above it. My name is Matt Posius, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Wednesday. If not Wednesday, then Friday, but probably Wednesday. And as I start to talk about general news, I will probably come back to daily videos, actually, at least from Monday to Friday. That's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you later.